Hey y'all, this is a video where I'm going to show y'all ways of saving money. And if you're a person who is trying to go organic or trying to eat from your own house without having to go anyplace else and eat, this is a beautiful way of doing it. I washed some thyme and some sage, and I made sure they're really clean. And I'm about to lay the seasonings out on that cookie sheet. But I'm going to do them one at a time because they all got to be done different times. Right now, I'm trying to discard all the dark leaves. And then I'm going to lay the sage out and make sure that they're dried properly, because you don't want them to turn dark colored because of being in the heat. So just make sure you look at all your leaves and they're not all funny looking. And I try to lay them upwards so you can at least, if you need one leaf of sage, you can at least take out one leaf of sage if that's how you want it. But I try to dry them upwards. And I'm going to take and put it in the oven. But when I put it in the oven, I'm going to put it to the lowest temperature. If you have warm, that's beautiful. But if you don't, put it under the lowest temperature that you got. And then my sage now, because sage leaves are so thick, it's best to put them at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, because thick. So right now I'm getting ready to start the time, and I put it the timer to 30 minutes because the thyme only takes about 30 minutes to dry. As you can see, they're little small leaves, and I don't have that much time because I'm sorry, I love my thyme and I put thyme in a lot of things that I cook, but I still want to save them and preserve them so they don't have to go through that refrigerator process, because you know how sometimes you take too long to get dark. So here it goes. Afterwards, everything done. They're all dry, perfect to perfection. If you want to, this is the time you can cut them up or you can destem them. Me personally, I keep my stems because I cook with the stems too. Because if you're making some broth or something, you can use all that. You can cut them up with your kitchen scissors. And me, I put them in a mason jar. If you have a seasoning bottle or cup that you can use, then you can go ahead. But me, I just buy some mason jars and put them in there. And now the time, if you have to buy a lot, if you want a lot of time, because time comes down to nothing once it's dried. So I'm trying to get all that up and put it in there. It seemed like nothing's in the jar because the time is like it came down to really such a little bit at the end. But trust me, it lasts a long ways, and it has a good long length of a long time of shelf life. My tongue is getting tight. So I'm putting it in the jar. And like I said, don't discard the stems because they can be used. Now I'm going back to my sage, and please excuse me. I don't know what I pressed, but I pressed something and the video just got. But I just destemmed all my sage off of my my stems. Now, just like the thyme, you can keep the stems and use the stems, like I said, to make broth or to do something with them, because the smell, I didn't even talk about the smell. If you're an island person, or you're a person that's a spiritual person, they tell you that when you burn sage, it like burn out the duppy them, or it burn out the ghosts, or whatever, if you believe in them type of talk. But sage brings in good vibes, and when you put this in the oven, your whole house is gonna smell so good. Okay, now this is my dill. I don't cook with dill that often, but when I do have it, I like to have my seasonings on hand. So I take my dill and I dry them, just like how I dried the other ones, washed it properly, and I put them inside of the cookie sheet. And now dill is just like the thyme. It cooks very fast. So once the half an hour, all the leaves are dry, I just cut them up and put them in my jar. And the stems, you don't really have to use the stems of these. These stems are different than other stems. And you see, that came up to a lot. And I'm going to have that for a long length of time. And I don't even use it that much, so I'm going to have it for a good while. And now I can have a whole heap of dill whenever I need it. And I can have a whole heap of sage whenever I need it. My thyme, I'm going to be doing that often. At least probably once a month I'll make thyme, because I use my thyme in almost everything I cook in. So I tried to show you the leaves at the bottom, because it came down to nothing. But it's alright. Like I said, if you like to save money, this is a great way of saving money. Making your own seasonings. And especially if you grow it in your own yard. GOM free, baby. All preservatives, and you know what's going into your seasoning. We're going to also talk about mixing seasonings too, and how to mix them together.